ordered a rideshare service to the hotel, and once it got there, Williams reportedly used a stun gun on the driver and attempted to strangle them.
Imagine you're just driving, trying to make some extra money. It's late. You pick up a ride from a Motel 6, just a normal night, until the passenger suddenly hits you with a stun gun and tries to strangle you. That's not a hypothetical. That's actually what happened to an Uber driver in Fort Mill, South Carolina. But instead of becoming a victim, this driver fought back with the one thing that gave him a fighting chance. Anybody? 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 Yeah, his legally carried firearm. And after a long investigation, prosecutors just announced he will not face any charges, ruling the shooting justified.
We're learning the York County Sheriff's Office and the Solicitor's Office will not be pressing charges in a deadly shooting in Fort Mill. Late last month, deputies say they were called to a Motel 6 off Carowinds Boulevard in the early morning hours. We're told that's where deputies found Kendall Williams dead after being shot once. A suspect was later arrested at the scene. However, after an investigation, deputies say they believe Williams, the victim, was the aggressor in the shooting. Deputies say he ordered a rideshare service to the hotel, and once it got there, Williams reportedly used a stun gun on the driver and attempted to strangle them. That's when deputies say the driver shot Williams with the gun he was legally carrying. Williams then died at the scene.
Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I ever became an Uber driver, I'd probably have a bulletproof partition between me and the passengers. Call me paranoid, but I'm not about to let some stranger sit behind me while I roll the dice on what mood they're in that night. And let's be real, I wouldn't make it as an Uber driver anyway, because I'd be like, wait, what side of town? Motel 6 at 2 a.m.? Nah, I'm cool. I'm just gonna go home. But that's the point. Not every Uber driver gets to have these types of luxuries. Their whole job is picking up complete strangers. You don't know who they are, what they're on, or what they're planning. And that's why I think Uber drivers, actually anybody working rideshare at night, should absolutely carry if they're legally allowed to. You're literally locked, hell, fuck that. Even if you're not legal, well, I'm not gonna, I plead the fifth, but you get my point. But, you're literally locking yourself in a small box with random people. And most of the time, it's people who have been drinking or worse. This driver didn't wake up thinking, yeah, tonight someone's gonna tase me and try to choke me to death. But it happened. And if he didn't have that gun, we'd probably be talking about his murder instead of his survival. By the way, stories like this don't always make it to my channel. Some of them I break down exclusively on my blog at MrColionNoir.com. If you want more deep dives and written reactions that don't always hit YouTube, check out the site. I post write-ups and breakdowns there all the time. Now, here's where people get it twisted. Some people say, well, the attacker didn't have a gun, as if that makes it less deadly. Let me tell you something. Someone can kill you with a taser and a chokehold just as fast as with a gun. The law doesn't require you to sit there and gamble with your life until they pull out a firearm of their own. And this is where dash cams come in. I'm a huge advocate for dash cams. And on the cars that I drive, it has a dash cam pointing forward, in the back, and inside of the car. If this driver had an interior cam rolling, it would have shown everything. No, he said, because let's be real, the attacker's dead. So it's just your word left. And if you get a prosecutor who wants to make an example out of you, suddenly your freedom depends on how convincing you sound in court. But with footage, all you gotta say is, here's the SD card, knock yourself out. That's the bigger lesson here. Self-defense isn't just about what gun you carry, what ammo you use, or whether or not you have a safety on your gun. It's also about what comes after, who's backing you up legally. What proof do you have that you did the right thing? You've got to think about the courtroom just as much as the car seat. This driver survived because he was prepared for the fight, but surviving the aftermath, the investigation, the legal costs, the months of not knowing if you're going to jail, that's a whole different battle. That's why I always tell people you need something like a USCCA membership. With USCCA, you don't just get legal protection, you get legal protection, financial backing, and training so you're prepared before, during, and after a self-defense situation. Because trust me, even when it's clear cut, like this case, you're still probably gonna need an attorney. You're still gonna deal with the system, and you do not want to face that alone. So hit the link in the description section and check out the membership and protect yourself, not just physically, but legally. Because at the end of the day, this Uber driver went home alive, and that's the only outcome that really matters. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.